Welcome to a special. This is going to be over 2 consecutive Saturdays. This is the first part. Now we're looking at the history of a farm. In this case it's Newbie Farm by Lucas no Cavalier Roy. And I'm going to look at the history of it. This is on Farming Sim 11. I'm not going to use 2011 the correct name. I shall just use 11, 13, 15, 17 just for ease. This is on 11. This is the first Newbie Farm. Now you can see it's quite flat. The farm hasn't got what became almost a trademark of the Newbie series. The farm itself up on a hill with the farmhouse above the rest of the farmyard. Now I'm using a hired helper here, a hired worker, just to do the combine. Now on 11 you owned all the fields. So every field on there is yours, no matter what. It wasn't until 13, I think, was when you could start buying. Yeah, 13 when you could start buying fields. So I'm going to let that go, and we'll just discuss a little bit about the philosophy of this map. Now, Newbie on 11 hasn't too much to do with the rest of the series. But it's one thing that Roy has always done. He would always put in plenty of scripts and the latest stuff onto all his maps, and each map, although once you get 13 and beyond they look very similar, they're all completely different. They're all built from the base up to a template. He knows what he wants and that's what you get. There's a few extras on here, and I'm afraid I haven't played 11 enough to really know what's what. This came up before I started playing Farm Sim, but I found this on Steam. 11 is still on Steam, and Newbie for 11, 13 and 15 are all on FS UK, and 17 on, they should all be on PCSG. We have hijacked them away from FS UK, but both sites are very good, and we do tend to keep all the old stuff unless we're asked by the author to take it down, and that's just to make that clear. But all this stuff is still on FS UK. The farm itself, I found the Farm Sim 11's on there. I couldn't find Farm Sim 13 on Steam, but may still be there and I just missed it. I hadn't had a look. I actually meant to have a look before I start recording, but as you can see we've got all the equipment, and most of it is not branded. The Apollinger is branded, and Monsoon and one or two other things, but most of it is listed, which is Giant's own brand. Now Fugel Nuke, there's a few brands which I've been with almost since the start. Some of the equipment's been there almost since the start, but you've got quite a fair amount of equipment. Now Kroon was there at the start. Kroon are no longer on there as a starting equipment, maybe for 19 of course. We live in hopes. But this is also the first farming sim that had animals. Cows only, but you did have animals. And there's the mods, Money Cheat and all the other bits and pieces. And as modern had already started for 11. It started actually on 9, which I haven't managed to get a hold of. I'd love to get a hold of a copy of 9 just to have a look at it. And I could actually, for something else I've got a plan to do with if I can't get a hold of a copy, I could do with about 5 minutes footage in MP4 to add into another special I'm thinking of doing. Yeah, I'm full of specials on a Saturday. I've suddenly got all these ideas again. Right, we're carrying on with the harvest. I don't think crop destruction is a thing, and you can see the textures are not brilliant. But hey, this is history. And a funny thing about the farm series, I'm running Windows 10. Now a lot of stuff which was made just before Windows 10 won't run on it. This is running perfectly well. There's a few jerks you notice, but not really a surprise. Apart from that, everything seems to be running as you'd expect. A little bit dark, but it is early in the morning. Well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday apparently. Well, of course, they're given the modern date, actually picking up the date from when this was made, so you can see when they made this, Friday the 25th, 2018, and at 2:30 in the afternoon. Right, let's have a quick look at the combine. The Lizard, that's a surprise. No brands in combines at this time. Lizard tractor, I think it's a Lizard trailer. Let's say there's a few brands but not many, and one of the things, when you log out, everything disconnects. Very off-putting, that. So you have to come back and reconnect. There we go. As you see, we've got right with harvesting at the moment. Now we just go and catch the combine up and empty that off, and I think we'd go and empty this one. Now I'm doing this, as you might imagine, as a talk over afterwards, because there's 4 different bits to this video, and it's about 50 minutes, so you're in for a long run. If you don't like long videos, it may not be for you, but I think you may find it interesting, especially looking at the history. And this little bit here, doing a little bit of farming, this was Stu, who asked, well, I mentioned on one of the others I've got FS 2011 or Farming Sim 11, and he said, well, what are you going to farm with? I'm actually thinking about doing a little mini series on 2011 using Newbie Farm. I haven't really played this, so I bought this from Steam because it brought more the history of the game together. I'm very interested in history. It might be due to my age, and I've seen a lot of history. And I can see you all nodding in agreement with that about the age. You can see you've got farm, if you look at the mini-map, you've got farm, shop, and all the other bits and pieces in there. I'm not certain if that is part of 11 or if that is an extra of that mini-map. But here we go, up there's some changes of elevation, but not what the Newbie got known for, massive change of elevation, which made it different. And also, once you played one Newbie, you had some idea where things were, but I haven't actually been about everywhere to find out, but I just wonder if he's done what he has on his later ones, so I haven't played this a lot, but places you're meant to visit in very awkward bits and made it a bit of a maze. Got better, Roy got better and better at that, to the extent that he gets lost at times. Trying to find a tip point, so I come out now and have a little walk around. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. Should really put I should put my torch on. You see, you have a torch even back in the 11 days. Well, we have a little walk around the farmyard. This would be, I think this is the longest single section of any of these videos. Mainly because I find this the most fascinating of them all. Oh, that's the grid, and it looks like we're not quite there. You see, you can see too how much the graphics are improved. Everything looks a bit flat. Now we keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, that's it, now we get the tip symbol. One thing you can't do on the 11 is miss these symbols. It's quite a large icon comes up. Now we're tipped. Didn't have much on there, I just wanted to just show that I could find my way around here. Yeah, which surprised everyone. I bet that surprises Roy too. The grass texture is not 11 texture. Roy added another texture to the grass, which I think looks very nice indeed. plenty of flaws in there, not quite as good as the modern, but still acceptable. And you can see all the buildings here, and we're just going to make our way back to the combine, and there is traffic on the map, as you can see ahead of us there. And I'm playing all 4 maps on keyboard, by the way, just to make it more awkward. I think this one's got extra fruits in too. I know he was he is a great lover of putting extras in. And one of the 2 models one of 3 models I really looked out for their new maps when a new farming sim comes out. Cavalier Roy was a Newbie series. Whatever Johnny V is going to do, because it's always excellent. And my old mate Old Boar was his, hopefully, Blickling series. I hope he brings another one out for 19. I've already decided that come 19 I will do a series, and I might do a straightforward let's play on Newbie, and we'll play it as it's meant to be played, i.e. on hard, with the equipment supplied, and see how well you get on, and with whatever extras he suggests for it. Right, we're now going to have a look around. We've moved on to another tractor, just so I can actually have a little bit of a drive around the yard. I won't keep talking all through these videos. I will keep quiet at times. You'll be grateful to know. I haven't really played as much yet, and I don't know what is standard 11 and what's been added. I know that a lot of stuff has been added, but it looks like silage clamps there. I can't say some, I'm just guessing what they are. Looks that's a tip of some description, but looks of it. I will have to play with it. Now this looks familiar. Now on all the other Newbies, there's a bit round the back to get onto the fields, which are normally something like 8 and 9 on the farms. There's always that hill down, and you see the graphics there on the display for the tractor. The instruments is not very good. It's awful, in fact. And we'll just take a little trip to the farm shop. I'm not going to go on the road. I've got a feeling that the traffic is probably very similar to traffic on 13. It's probably easy to flip it out of the way. And I used to enjoy a good game of flip the traffic from 13. Farm shop. Not so, I think they're in game. Now, your doors don't open in 11. It's a long time before that, but you can walk through them if you hit it right. There we are. Yeah, sorry about the darkness of this. I should really have fast forwarded time to about midday, but I'm not certain where fast forward is, if there is a fast forward on here, of course. But all your equipment's ready to sell. A Fent must have been in game. There's another Fent there, and another. That's one of your main manufacturers still in Farming Sim, of course. And you can't go through it, can't open it. And to buy stuff, we see this and we step on it, and the farming shop comes up. And we have had a look at that, so I won't go through it again. And I would suggest on certain bits you want to see it closer, just pause the video and read what there is. Certainly on the descriptions, Roy's always been very good on the descriptions at the start, the little story to each one. You can't get in there, can't get in the workshop, never mind. And the flags, of course, unlike, I think, is it 13 or 15 on, where they had movement, no movement on 11, and we're back in the tractor. And you know, I missed one or two mods on here, like glance. Decker was actually modding back then. I think Follow Me is on here, which is one of his. And then we have a look at Newbie 13. This is where I started. I never played with Farm Sim. I never played Newbie on 13. I didn't know much about mods then. There was two versions for 13. There was the standard Fruits version, which was fairly standard but also very difficult. The game meant to be played on hard, and the game, like an idiot, I started at the wrong time of the day. But no, we got the first looks of the classic Newbie Farm. The farmhouse up high, above the farm. Everyone on this has been a part of it. And you go down to the chickens, which is also very much what happens, even up to the 19 months old. And this is one of the mods. It's a food mixer. Now this is the second version of it, the main version. This is the one with extra fruits, and it's also prepared for more realistic. Yes, that's right. This is more. I haven't got more realistic on here. I haven't got the engine on. It's available on Modding Central, by the way, and I think FS UK, or all the more realistic stuff. You've got barns for all your different bits and pieces. And here's, I should imagine you tip in here. I didn't have anything ready to harvest, because this has also got a soil mod on here. Yes, that's right. Because soil mod was part of more realistic in those days, as was a gearbox mod and several other things, which I haven't actually got on here. Now it is flickering a bit, but again, it's not a surprise. And you've got your fertilizer store, and some of the equipment I really loved using. I really loved this old stuff, and they brought it up for 15 as a classic farm pack. But some of this stuff, this little far, and that butcher forage wagon, I loved that. I used that a lot on 15. It's handy until you got some money to give to buy that, which was cheap, and pick up the straw and sell the straw raw straight away. You've made quite a bit of money like that. As you can see, all the extra fruits in there. And there we are. The first sighting of the Newbie Farm sign. As you're coming up the hill into the farm, you see that. And it's so well done. This is typical, Roy. He takes his time to build things. He's not one of the big boys, but I think that's why I like his stuff. He's individual. He's organically grown Newbie over the years. And as I say, this is the first real example of the new one. No milk sales at midnight. You have to pick up and deliver the milk. There's a margin there to stop it, built into the map. And we got the PDA. Now, I don't understand any of this. It's all to do, I think, by the looks of it, with the more realistic mod. And it should actually, I think you could call things up to look at the stuff on the PDA, but I haven't really figured it out. Now, the grassland looks better than on 11. It's got poppies in there as well as what looks like daisies on that one. I'm still messing about with this PDA. I should really have read up a bit about it. But have you ever known me to actually be ready and with my videos? And I've done all the homework I should do. I like going in cold. You see a two-dimensional thing, but they're still actually two-dimensional nowadays, but they just look a little bit better. They're fine lines, you don't look too close at them, but from a distance, everything looks great. I haven't got round to trying all the other PDA things. Now, going is built for hard. As you see, we have got time. We can now fast forward time. We get rid of the PDA again for a little while, and we got very little money. I can't remember on this one if we actually have any fields ourselves. I think we have. I think 8 is ours. That's showing the soil condition. Soil mod, you see. Now it'll show you a vehicle spec if you're in there. And that's the price history of all the stuff and the current price of stuff and what you got in your silos. It's all on here. That's the config. I couldn't find a map on here. I know I'm certain there is one. I'm certainly used one when I was playing it, but I cannot find a map. The trouble is, I'd done about 9 months, I suppose, of 13 before 15 came out. I bought it later. I bought it in a Steam sale with the titanium edition, and I played that a hell of a lot. And I just wish I'd have found this. Now, there's a briefing up here showing him what you got, and there's your map. On this one, yes, you own 8, which has got wheat in it. But yeah, that's the only field you own. Now you're trying to make money. How the hell do you make money on that? One field, you've got 3,800, and you also owe a lot of money. This again is on hard. I'll set all these up for hard. It's the only way I play. I'm hardcore, I am. Oh boy, am I hardcore. More storage. There's tons of storage on. Again, it's a. With Roy's maps, they always have a lot of storage. And this has got the manual engine start on. Also the damage mod on, if you notice. So you hit stuff and you get damage. Oh, we decided to go and have a little drive around. I'm not certain where we're going. Trouble without a map on the screen, I have lost. But this looks very familiar to those of you who are used to Newbie 15, 17. I've even been lucky enough to have go on 19, the first version of 19. Which I'm happy to say Roy's let me have the latest version. Now that looks like a courseplay trigger up there. I might be wrong. This courseplay was a thing by now. As you see, we've got courseplay on here. And we're just going to have a look at the field. And you see you spray all the different things on there. Soil mod. And it all actually works. I know a lot of people, when 15 came out, didn't play it because it didn't have more realistic soil mod on. Tells you again what it's like, what's in there. No weeds in here. No fertilizer either. A little bit alkali the soil. Not that we can really do about it at the moment. If I remember right, that was a big problem on 13. The soil mod was trying to get the acidity of the soil right. I wish I hadn't tried to say that now. No, I think I'm going to try and find something. There's not, the PDA isn't brilliant on this, or the map isn't brilliant on this. You can't see too well what is what. But well, I think we're going to have a look at, see if we can find the dealers. But you see here, this is a typical, what's become a typical Roy map, a typical Newbie map. Lots of trees, lots of elevation changes, and lots of things tucked out of the way. If you look there, there's quite a few things just tucked just out of the way, just a little bit awkward to get to. Not as bad as what is to become. I think on all these I show a little bit of the farmyard and the dealership. I don't know why I picked on the dealership there. Now we're going to go for a walk over the hills. And if we have a walk over the hill, if we have a look round, we can see a field there which is up for sale. I can't figure out where we are. Yeah, we're trying to find ourselves now. I think we're going to walk to the dealers. I must have been fit when I made this one. Again, made on the 25th. That's a thing too. You can't see all the bits and pieces on there. When I made it, you could on 11. Must have been a mod on there. I know that Roy on 11 bunged in a lot of mods, and there's a lot of mods in this one. Now we also now got opening doors. Oh, I remember spending a long time in dealerships on 13. But this run-the-mill dealership, they're my favourite thing from 13. The Butcher forage wagon, self-propelled forage wagon, great bit of kit. Should imagine we're just at the end of 15. Yes, I get a picture. And there we are on 13. I mean, and we're now on 15. This is the one I did play. It's the first time I come across Newbie. I came across this because of my good friend Bipolar Prophet, who said you should try this. So I did. Before I started making videos, so I haven't got any videos of this made. Now you can see that it's a lot brighter now. The textures look a lot better. Big improvement from 13. And for those who say there's no, everyone's a remake of the previous version, rubbish. This is so much better. Now the chickens are in the same place for Newbie. Your cows are here. And I think you have, well, but we've got 13, you had cows, pigs and chickens, I think, and no, cows, sheep and chickens, and the same on 15, nothing extra on here. Went until 17 you've got an extra animal. Plenty of storage. Again, the typical Roy map, lot of storage. Oh, and the worst tractor ever to grace farming sim in my opinion, the New Holland T4, their version of T4. No front link up, so you couldn't put a weight on the front, which meant it was useless to pull anything. You couldn't play with it, couldn't cultivate with it, unless you put the forks on and had a bale or something on your forks. It used to just tip. And one guy did do a pack of New Holland, which massive pack, which had a whole lot of different T4s in, and they were actually handy because they had front linkages. Now, one thing we're lost on the latest ones is this. I'm looking. I think I'm probably looking for the map, so I'm looking at the settings. There's nothing there. We found a big map. Now on this one, there's a big difference. This is made even harder. Remember, your planets are hard. Notice something? You don't own a single field. Not a thing. You own the farm and some equipment, and that's it. From that, you have to try and make some money. Good luck. Again, I will remind you this is played on hard, or meant to be played on hard. I played this for a long time and couldn't make too much money. I think I sold this in the end because I got so fed up with it. I used the money to keep me going. But I taken this out for a dry run. There's trouble. I also forgot how bad the reflection was off the screen. And there's the Newbie Farm sign on all of the maps from now on. Start on 13 and carries on there. One set of silos. And I forget, I think I got a feeling you tipped remotely from the silos. I got a feeling, I can't honestly remember now. So I played this. Again, you have to deliver the milk yourself. Your cows are in here. Nice little barrier, opening barrier at the end here. Brilliant. And this was good too. Once you got some cows, you can mow this, and get some grass and hay to feed the cows, but you wouldn't have a lot else, to be honest. Although you had all these different things, you had so little to play with on this. And I would suggest to anybody who's still got a copy of FS15, pick this up from FS UK, Newbie for 15, and play it. Just play it on hard, no cheats, no money in, just play it and see how well you get on. It's a challenge for you. This I found the hardest of the versions I played. Basically because you start with nothing, and after the first 3 or 4 years you still had nothing. And we have a look at the other tractor you started with. Far better tractor, this one. Nice big weight on the front. One thing I would always change when I'm playing, of course, is by now the OEB weight was out. The OEB weight would go on the front of this. And get rid of those dozy great things here, which are hopeless. Now, Brantner, Charlie, you note. So we've got more brands in there. Sampo Roscoe, or Roscoe Sampo, forget which way around it is. Combine. Nice bit of kit. Some really good stuff to start off with. Now we're going to go for a little bit of drive round. Now this is your typical newbie exit from the farm down a hill. Field here, this is the one you'd try and buy. I've got a feeling too that the hedges here were ploughable in. I might be wrong on that. Could well be wrong on this one. One version I'm certain the hedges were ploughable in, but it could have been the map I was playing. I played a lot of maps. One time Shawnee B and Bipolar used to have a joke that there'd be no maps left for them to play. Ooh. Drive into the hedge, why don't you? I can't remember, I've got a feeling there's no traffic on this map. I've got a feeling that traffic went, only was, certainly it was on 11, I can't remember if there's any on 13. But I think by now traffic had gone. Frankly, it's a waste of time. If I want traffic on for a certain scene, I can set up course play with follow me. And just put some traffic around. And actually goes at a better speed than the in-game stuff. And especially by now the traffic had become a tank. You hit that and you stopped. Petrol station down here, or as the Americans will say, a gas station. So we just split the difference, call it a service station. Now I'm actually looking for the dealers, and because the dealers are back where they were on 13, they hadn't moved. By 17 they'd moved here. Things move. And one thing I will say about Roy, he will listen. He always listens. I'll tell you how I know he listens when we get onto the 17 bit. And by now you'll be glad to know we're 2/3 away into this video. And I hope I've still got some of you with me. If you're still there, just shout. No, we've got pedestrians now. People walking about the town. This is the town. Looks like this one had been in and out of the zip too often. And the trees have gone a bit funny. Got the cottony wool. Now that's a problem with 15. It did that, which is one of the reasons. Since 15, I've never re-zipped a map unless I want to play it for multiplayer. I unzip it when I'm working on it, and I keep it unzipped then, because every time you zip it, there's a chance that the trees will go a bit strange, which is some of them have here, but you don't worry too much about that. At least I don't. Yes, I just hit the fence. There we are, look at that. That T4's fault. Horrible little tractor. As you know, the T4 was a nice tractor, if only they'd have fitted one of the models with the front hitch. Front 3 points, so at least put a weight on the front. This is still, of course, in the 17 version. I think the 19 version has this in the town. Town has grown since the 15 version. The town's a lot bigger now. Yeah, it's doubled in size, I would say, in the 17 version. But we've got the typical, what is now the typical newbie look, the Newbie Farm look. They say sheer cliffs, a lot of elevation changes. No idea where this is based. Roy won't tell you. We have asked where exactly he's based, and doesn't matter. Oh, I'm a little bit confused which way to go. That won't surprise anybody. I should have upped the soundtrack on this one. I can't hear the tractors very well, but it is there. You may have to play with the volumes a bit, but the trouble is, if you play with the volumes, you can get my voice more, which you won't really want. And we're now going to make our way to the dealers, just to have a quick look at the dealers. I don't know why I picked the dealers, but it was somewhere that every map has, so I decided to use that, and it's similar on every map. It's just road positions, and in Proton I'm now just checking where it is. And you see, guy, there's certain things well out of the way. It's not so much of a handicap. A lot of spinner is good fun to find, as is the biomass. Not as bad as it's become on 17, where, oh, I'll tell you now, where Roy himself has admitted to getting lost often. Now we're making our way to the dealers. Past the clamp. Now this is a second silo system. I think one of these, they took different fruit. You didn't have the multi-fruit as you get now. Remember, nowadays everything can go in one silo if you're clever enough. You got away from the 13 thing where you quite often had a different bin for everything, which on course plan 13 I got quite an expert on running little bits of course and stitching them together to make the whole thing. Now the dealer's round the corner here. As I was saying, this is the first of the food specials I've got. Next week will be the special on the first real look at that Newbie for 19. I'm going in it cold. I had it some time. Roy's been kind enough to let me have it for some time, but I haven't really played it a lot. So we're going to start it fresh, and we're just going to have a look round the map. That's for next week. And I wish to thank Roy for kindness and letting me have the 19 map. As you know, I had the earlier version 19, as I noticed, as Ian Robson's been playing a multiplayer. Don't know if he still is. Another excellent YouTuber is Ian. I catch up with him now and again. I don't catch up with any of them as much as I used to. I haven't got the time anymore. There I am, retired, and I haven't got time. I hope you all feel sorry for me. You see all the animals around the farm here. The cows and the sheep and the chickens are all around the farm. There's an egg cell point just down the road from us by the looks of it. But you've got the typical, the typical PDA map. It gives you a lot of information on how we are. That's the newbie sign. I've got a feeling I take a photo here. And then we go on to 17. This is the current version. And one thing Giants did take away, they took the option of a big description at the start of the map when you load it in, which is a pity. I think, a crying shame. Again, I've done the stupid thing and started too early in the morning, but there. They all look the same like this. This is the shortest of the four looks, because let's face it, most people have seen the 17th version. The farmhouse up on the hill. No, because you have chickens. That's alright. They're given to you. Your cows again are just over the way here. Your silo system, which is your modern silo system, it's taken from Sanofka by the looks of it. But it is a very good silo system. I happen to like that one a lot. Plenty of equipment. Something else Roy Dawes doesn't stint you with equipment. This is the one I played the 24-hour days per season event on. A couple of things I've done, as I always do on those, I took the fuel tanks out and I took the seed and fertilizer out, because I prefer to bring them in myself. But we have a quick look through the equipment. Sample rustling, or however you pronounce it. They're good. Remember the problem I had with it earlier. A good selection of equipment, enough to get you going. And on this one, you actually own 3 fields, plus 2 meadows. Now, this is where I say Roy listens. It's meadow 20, right down the south of the map, right at the bottom of the map. That's your second meadow. And I had to mention on one of the videos that I was going to get rid of it out of the 24-day season, because it's too far to pick stuff up and take back to farm, especially if we're playing times 15. Come 19, and Roy had contacted me and said, when he let me have a version of 19, you see, I listened, I made a change. And he put the pigs down to the water south of the map, and that meadow was then over by the river, a lot closer, actually within range. You could actually cut it and gather the grass in one day. You couldn't before. And that's using seasons on it. And you may notice that seasons on this. This came seasons ready. This is the seasons ready version. The grass would disappear overnight on most of it. Remember, even playing 24-day seasons, each day was about a day and a bit in real life. So, no, sorry, it'd be about a week in real life. This is right. Each day would be roughly equivalent to a week. Someone will work it out and tell me exactly what it is. Now we're going to do as we've been doing. We're going to take a trip down to the sales area, the dealership. And the dealership is very similar to the last one, but it's a good dealership. It's a good model. There's no need to keep changing things. You change things when they need to be changed and leave well alone when they don't. And I happen to like this. This is well done. And you notice too, I was saying on, was it 11, I think, that the flags didn't move. Now on this one the flags are moving. If you look, if you sort of watch carefully, just wind it back a bit and watch carefully, you'll see the flags are moving in the breeze. It's the little touches like that which Giants brought out. And I see they're just celebrating the 10th birthday of Giants. Well, not so much Giants' 10th birthday, but the 10th birthday of Farming Sim. And they've got an extra video on YouTube. And it's also linked, it's also on their Mod Hub site on the, I think it's on the news section. You'll find a map. I find a video there, and it's excellent. It's all in German, but there's English subtitles, so you can read what they're saying. You notice too that we have the little doohickey for showing what level the forks are at. This must be my map. I don't think it came with it. This must be one of my mods. It's one I always have on. It means I can now use the forks probably. Now we're within 4 minutes. I'm going to do my wind down now. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Oh, this is the shop, by the way. In the same place, but you can see the town's actually grown a bit. And it's things like the river is active. There's things on the river now. Yeah. People about. Right, yes, anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider leaving a like. If you're not subscribed and wish to see more, and I will be doing more of these specials in the 7 for the Weekend series. Whoops, and I crash again. That one's for you, Duck. My 7 for the Weekend series, I will be doing a few specials. I've got the lined up for next week is a proper look at the Newbie for 19. It's finished, all bar any alterations have to be made to get it released for 19. Oh, that we won't know until 19 is actually released, but it should be one of the earlier good maps out. And I can highly recommend any of these maps, any of the Newbie series. Certainly from 15, 17, 19, I've played them all. I haven't played the latest version 19 much, but I will be. I certainly will be once 19 comes out, because that's going to be my go-to map. Right, any comments, questions, queries, and anything else? Oh yeah, subscribe if you wish, please. Please. Any comments, questions, or queries, feel free to post them. I read every one, and I try and reply to everyone. I'm not going to give you the sloppy bit that you're all very important to me. You all know you're important. No need to tell you that. As you see, there's no collisions on the hedges on the 17th version. There was again on the 19, and there was on the 13. It's just the 17 seemed to. Oh, and the 15 I think it was. I think it's just the 17 that didn't happen. You always get a good selection of fields, good sized fields, and not so much this one. This plays okay with more realistic, but it is hard in places. Whereas 19, certainly the first version, I worked on it out, so there wasn't any problems with more realistic. You could drive with it on more realistic. And this one, of course, you're given some cattle. You're given 50 head. Yeah, I think it's 50 heads you're given, and you're also given all the bales to feed them with for a start. And on 19, certainly on the first version 19, you're also given 50 cattle and the bales to feed them with. So I think we're just about at an end here, so I'm just so you can sort of watch the final few bits without me rattling on. So it's me saying cheerio for now. Cheerio.